Cancelled.
Schweezy.
Okay, so it's time to get into another relevant article, an article from Relevant Magazine. To be honest with you, I'm probably doing too many of these. I've kind of started to realize I'm doing more than they can keep up with, making good articles, or at least articles I can rebuttal to or anything like that. I think I'm overdoing it with Irrelevant. May have to stop for a bit. May actually have to start doing things and talking about that. Those are usually easier when I actually do stuff and talk about it. Maybe I should start doing that shit. Anyways, though, what article do we have here today? From Relevant Magazine, who, by the way, I do want to point out here, on their actual website, they're like, you've read too many articles. You need to subscribe or you can't read anymore. And I'm like, did they find my IP address? So I opened the app to open everything up in like incognito mode to even view any of it. So I guess they're tracking something. Do they have my IP address? Do they realize I'm talking shit?
What?
I don't know. But anyways, though, I'm going to continue talking shit as long as they continue being cringe. So let's get into this week's. I forgot a couple of them to actually read the author's name. Jimmy Myers. Okay, we got a man. We're safe here. Well, one thing's safe. He's the director of young adults at First Presbyterian Church of Houston in Houston, Texas. He is a recent graduate from Duke Divinity School and was awarded first prize from First Things Premier Essay Contest in 2015 for his essay entitled "It Is True That the World Will Be Saved by Beauty?" Question mark. He is married to Mary Lynn, loves reading Karl Barth's Church Dogmatics, plays virtually every kind of sport, and of course, and he enjoys singing. He enjoys singing, but he plays every kind of sport. So if you play every kind of sport, you can go to heaven. Because if you don't play a sport, you're not holy in the eyes of God. Let's just remember, that's what going to church in the Midwest taught me. You're not holy in the eyes of God unless you play a sport. That's why I remember in high school they had some group called Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and I was always invited, and I was Christian. I was very Christian in high school. And I was like, you should come to FCA, or Fellowship of Christian Athletes, what FCA stands for. I'm like, I'm not an athlete. And you're like, so you don't have to be an athlete to go. I'm like, it's literally in the goddamn fucking title, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I'm not an athlete. I'm a Christian, but I'm not an athlete, so therefore, I'm not allowed in your goddamn club. And a lot of schools are like, I have an FCA I joined, I don't play sports. I'm like, why would you make such a distinct club that discourages other people from not joining? Just because someone's not, I'm in band, so I don't really play sports. It's like, well, anyone can join the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And then you go there, it's like, we got to praise God on the field, boys. I'm like, okay, I'm out of this. Shit. Fuck how Christianity, fuck the whole fucking point about having to play sports in high school. Fuck that. I play music. I get paid to play music now. I get paid to scramble my nonsense in front of all of you. And so, what are the people who played sports in high school doing? They're fat losers now. That's all they are. How does the way Jesus Christ marked out for us in the Bible relate to the ways of contemporary Christian culture marked out for us in the 20... Oh, I should actually tell you the article. I played myself.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
So today's article, the one we're going over today, I actually have no clue if I've actually said enough. This article is called, "There is No Such Thing as a Cool Church." Just reading the title alone, I know people, if you see the headline of an article and you judge the entire article off that, you are a dum-dum. You're the reason why an orange man became president, because you're fucking stupid. Notice I didn't use another word. There's no such thing as a cool church. I can't imagine. So when I was a small kid, we went to two churches when I was a small kid. Before pre-13-year-old me, every church I've been to has tried to be a cool church. The one I went to in high school was tried to be cool for middle-aged people. So I'm like, I didn't think it was cool, but I see why people in the middle-age range think it's cool. And then in college, the churches I went to, decided that they were cool. Fuck you, Josh Casey, for trying to make a cool church. And even when I was living, even after college, before I decided, like, maybe I should stop going to church. And then I'm like, my mindset's a lot better now. So every church I've been to has tried to be a cool church. And most churches try to be cool, or at least try to be cool. Like, hey, we're God-fearing people. We're cool. We're cool in the eyes of God. Now we can actually start reading this. How does the way Jesus Christ marked out for us in the Bible relate to ways of contemporary culture marked for us in the 21st century? It is perennial questions that has plagued Christians living in the Western Hemisphere since at least the middle of the 18th century, and one only has to glance at the number of books, articles, blog posts, and podcasts related to the subject to see that there are about as many answers to that question as there are people thinking the equation. Hovering behind the attempts to answer the question is a cluster of concerns. How will the way of Jesus Christ speak to new generations in a compelling mode? What if people and even whole age groups begin to leave the church? How is the church of here and now going to address the contemporary individual's needs and doubts, questions and concerns, desires and revulsions? On the one hand, it might be that these concerns indicate a healthy anxiety in the church to continue to proclaim what God has done in Jesus of Nazareth in terms accessible to each new generation, but it might also be that these concerns point in a different direction. Perhaps we are not so burdened by the responsibility of Christian proclamations as we are facing a temptation to let the standard of the contemporary social and political order set the agenda for Christian existence in the world. The question listed above suggests as much to us. If we ask that is how the way of Jesus Christ will speak to the new generation in a compelling mode, haven't we already agreed that the proclamation of Jesus Christ is not in itself compelling, that it needs bells and whistles to spruce it up if it's going to prove effective? Or if we ask about and worry over the problem and growth and decline in the church, haven't we already succumbed to the vision of the church determined by numbers of quantities rather than by the call and cause of discipleship? So, thinking about that, I'm going to move on to other points. I'm kind of like double tasking here. Going to this article. This is a long article, and I don't want to be just fucking reading shit. It's not the news segment. So, and going off your top question, don't we want to reach out to people? I guess this is what it was trying to say. And then the idea of, cool churches reach out to people because people want to be cool, and people want to be part of cool churches, and that's why fucking Hillsong is so big. Carl Lenz, and his dick V. That got me fucking TikTok blocked.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I'm talking about his fucking dick V while fucking Howie Mandel's posting fucking prolapsed anuses. Fucking, I'm like, I get blocked, but I think I figured out with TikTok though that if I appeal everything I've appealed, they've been like, yeah, we see it's fine, you're fine, and they appeal it. But sometimes doing that, but sometimes the fact that it was flagged to begin with doesn't help the the discoverability of the talk. Anyways, everyone. So okay, if we ask that is how the way of Jesus Christ will speak to the generation in a compelling mode, haven't we already agreed that the proclamation of Jesus Christ is not in itself compelling, that it needs bells and whistles to spruce it up as it's going to prove effective? Or if we ask about and worry over the problem in growth and decline in the church, haven't we already succumbed to a vision of church determined by numbers and quantities rather than call of gospel discipleship? I mean, I get that though, but what is the... So we talk about there's no such thing as a cool church. What is the idea of why someone would want to go to what we call a cool church? Why would we want to go to Hillsong? Why would someone want to go to Hillsong, be a big member of Hillsong, and be popular at Hillsong, rather than just a very modest church of 200 people who, there's a lot of good people, not the coolest people in the world. Some of them are kind of lame, but you can get along with them. They're nice people. They're always willing to help you out. What does it make you do? Because people want to feel good inside. That's what we want to do, and that's why we go to church. Now, I feel like that's the reason I probably stuck with the Christian bullshit for as long as I did, because I wanted to feel good inside. I had so much fucking anxiety and depression, and I was pretty fucking stupid, I will tell you that. And I was like, well, Jesus will cure me of this, and then I was always told, well, you can't be depressed if you have Jesus in your heart. Fuck that shit. Fuck, if someone tells you that, punch him in the fucking face. figuratively, with quotes around it. Quotes around it because I'm making the quote symbol for the watchers, but for the listeners, figuratively. How does this fucking message end? The church will be taken seriously only when it takes seriously its own tasks and responsibilities given it by God's revelation in Jesus Christ. Okay, that's pretty much it. So it's probably trying to say, yeah, the church isn't cool because the idea of what humans think is cool is not what Jesus Christ is, which I get. No, I 100% get this. Jimmy Myers, I agree with a lot what you have to say. The problem is, what is the church? Given a cool church and lame churches and everything else in between. What is that? Cool churches, thousands of people go to it because it's cool and they want to be cool because we have this incessant need to be popular, cool. I think it's just the human reaction. We just want to be cool. That's just what humans are. And there's a lame church, like some people, like they really found their family there, but they go there and they're like, if I told someone to come here, they'd be like, this is the lamest fucking shit ever. So we have that, and then and then there's everything else in between, like that. So yeah, I understand. I like the idea of like a good church is not a cool church. I'm like, yeah, I agree with that. But what is the church to begin with, and the fact that we have to try and make church cool is the problem, because church is not cool. Church is bad. And I say, like, believe in God. You have your beliefs. Believe in God all you want. I always want to say on this podcast that anytime I go over Christianity a lot. I talk a lot of shit on Christianity a lot, but I have to say that I was full throttle. I went full throttle. Do I have full throttle here?
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I have to have full throttle.
Feel like a woman, a real woman. Let's go full throttle.
Yeah, I was full throttle in the Christian shit for basically my whole life, majority of it, and can't even say I'm barely stopped going to church when I was 20. I would say around I was turning 24 and 29 now. So 5 years I've not gone to church in like 5 years, and I'm 29, and that's so if we go next year I'm 36 or whatever, and that'd be 6 out of 24 or whatever. I went to church at least 24 years of my life and stuff like that. So I was there, and I've kind of seen the goods of churches, and I've seen the bad of churches and stuff like that. And like I said, I don't want to tell anyone what to believe or anything like that, but at the same time, I just think a lot of times churches are just kind of clubs. And with any club, every club has good and bad things. I know some girls I know had fun at sororities. I don't even care about it. I don't hang out with frat guys, but I'll talk to sorority girls, like former sorority girls. This is the kind of life I'm living. Do we have
First of all, ride or die.
No.
Bitch.
Feel like a woman, a real woman.
I don't have this type of guy yet anymore. But yeah, I know that, like that. And like they talk about how great their sorority was and stuff like that. But there was also, I could probably talk about a lot of flaws they had in those sororities. I talk a lot about flaws in churches. And the problem with churches is churches also prey upon just weak-minded people to try and get them, they kind of emotionally manipulate a lot of people into believing and giving money and just taking advantage of people who don't need to. I've been, there was some music thing I've been recently asked to try and, volunteer in quotations at a church to do recently, and I don't even I talk a lot of shit on this podcast, but even in my real life I don't have the heart to say, I'm like, look, we have a lot of different beliefs. Your church that you want me to volunteer at for free, waste 10 weeks of my time volunteering at. We have a lot of different spiritual beliefs and a lot of just standard ethical beliefs I don't agree in, and I can't say that. And with these churches, they emotionally manipulate. There's a lot of ethical beliefs they'll make you believe that can be very damaging to people. Like if you're emotionally broken and the church takes advantage of that, you have a child who ends up they just grow up to be gay, stuff like that, and your church tells you that how disgusting your child is for being gay, and how they need to be sent to conversion therapy, they need Jesus, stuff like that. That emotionally broken individual who has a child is going to be terrible to their son who is gay, or maybe the daughter could be gay too. Women can be gay too. Anyone can be gay too, and it's just bad because it's just a lot of emotionally vulnerable people that churches are, and that's cool churches and that's bad churches. And so overall, I will say no church is cool. That's 100%. No church is cool. All churches are bad. All churches are lame, and all churches are fucking stupid. Hey there, you just checked out a highlight from Cancel Schweezy. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you learned something and that you are now a smarter individual. Just so you know, we have full episodes and other many highlights available now. Click here for the next best thing that you can go check out as well. And make sure you press that subscribe button and press that notification bell. That way you get updated anytime we make a new post or anytime that we make a new highlight or full episode. So thank you, honk if you love butt drugs, and stay awesome.